Hey, it's Dave Bosco for 911airsoft.com news. Coming at you live from Borea. We are in our mobile studio right now. We are at the south end of Borea. We're covering the story of the loud explosion that was heard last night over the country. A lot of assumptions at this point that the explosion was in the south end of the country. That has not been verified at this time. The military will not let us get any closer. We are at the port of South Borea now. We have been unable to get any farther than that. They have allowed us to set up here for a short period of time to be able to give you this story. We also showed you a video, and it has been confirmed the one helicopter that was flying over was not by itself. There was two other helicopters to its right that did not have any lights on. There was multiple eyewitnesses to this, which is raising the eyebrows of the Borean military, north and south. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Borea and its troubles that it has gone through in the past, mostly within the past 18 months. Last year, it started real heavy with the north and the south not getting along. The north is basically made up of your lower class to low middle class people. They only have one port. It's very shallow. They can only bring in one ship at a time for trading with other countries. They're not really industrialized in the north. There's not a lot of people that live there, and it's very poor. The south part of Borea, on the other hand, is really industrialized. Now, I understand there's a lot of background noise going on, and it's been raining here all day. The high winds. So we're running on generator power now, and hopefully we'll be able to get regular power as time goes on, so we can have a more clear video for you. But anyway, the south, being industrialized as it is, they have your high class, your a lot of businesses, a lot of trade that goes on. Their port can handle multiple ships. It's very deep, so they can handle a lot of the large trade that comes in. Also, the South, in their expansion of trying to do more trading, upkeep on their ports, they started raising the shipping rates to the North. The North could not handle this rate increase and was very unhappy with it. So there was a lot of friction between the North and the South. Small fighting went on, a lot of arguments. They couldn't get along. At meetings, trying to work things out, the president tried to fix things the best he could. Unfortunately, the president at the time was very sick. He was being seen by a doctor in Rowan, which is the country to the east of Borea. They've never really gotten along. There's a lot of turf battle on whose land is what. There's never been any physical altercations, but the friction is there, and they just don't deal with them, period. Well, the president's doctor was from Rowan. And Rowan, they basically deal with their own trading. They deal with everybody but Borea. They just have no communication with them whatsoever, and Borea does the same. They don't even deal with them. So, as the president was sick, he started to get worse, could not control the country, and eventually 2 days later, after being notified that fires were breaking out in the country, people setting buildings on fire, the president was found dead within 2 days of the majority of the large fighting going on between the two sides. The vice president came in to try to take control, and it wasn't working. He couldn't get control of either side. They burnt down the Capitol building. So the vice president, fled in fear for his own life. When the autopsy came in for the president, it found that he was poisoned. Apparently, from what we were told last year at our news updates, was he was poisoned by the doctor. Apparently, the president of Borea was working a deal with Rowan and decided to back out because the people of Borea did not want to do it. When the president backed out, it upset Rowan very much. So Rowan, taking care of the problem as they saw it, wanted to kill the president. Later on, they found out that the doctor had killed himself because he was afraid of what was going to happen. Now you have a country with no president. You have the doctor that killed himself. And you have the vice president that has left. Then they find out that the vice president went to Rowan to seek security from them because he was afraid of retaliation. Because Borea was basically fighting themselves. The North and the South drew a line in the sand, literally, at the capital city, and divided the country between North and South. On June 13th of 2015, last year, at approximately 10 a.m., fighting occurred on the border in Borea against the Rowan army. The Rowan army was found in Borea that was there to plant a bomb in the center of the country to blow the country up to gain the country for themselves, because they knew that they had no government, no structure, and it would be easy to take over the country. There was enormous fighting for about 2 hours. At approximately 12:10 on June 13th, the Rowan army was taken over by the Borean forces from the north and the south, working together. As the day started to progress on after the elimination of Rowan's army, fighting occurred again. At this point, the North and the South wanted to move the bomb to the other side. The South was trying to blow up the North because now they had the bomb. They didn't have to invest anything. Someone else already did. The North wanted to blow up the South. At approximately 3:15 on June 13th, the South government and the South Army was able to move the bomb to the North. At 4 p.m. that day, that bomb detonated in North Borea, killing thousands of citizens, crippling North Borea. After a week of sifting through the rubble, the Rowan government made a deal with North Borea to help them rebuild as a agreement to possibly start doing trading with North Borea. As South Borea got information on what was going on, they intervened. And Rowan made a deal with the entire country of Borea to help them reconstruct their government again and help rebuild their country in return for trading between the two. At this point, everything seemed to be fine. The Rowan people were actually coming over to help rebuild. Today, there are Rowan citizens that live in Borea that are now Borean citizens that have helped rebuild. They have not rebuilt the Capitol building, but they have started to rebuild their capital city. The Rowans have been helping out. So this explosion is a concern to Rowan people and Rowan also. They are worried about who is trying to come in. So it's not just Borea. It is now Rowan being a little concerned themselves. We're going to be bringing you more and more of this situation. We wanted to give you a recap of what happened last year to get this country so on edge over something as minor as helicopters flying over and an explosion. We will be bringing you more information as we get it. In the next few days, we're going to try to be able to get out into the country and get eyes for ourselves, be able to talk to other people, and hopefully be able to get this situation to you with as much as we can get. So until then, we will be here and we will try to be getting you more on this story. Until then, my name's Dave Bosco for 911airsoft.com News, coming to you live from Borea in our mobile studio. Thank you.